Hello and welcome to today's video, and today we're going to talk about how to take attendance in your league, how to do it in a way that's really effective, and how to make sure we're doing it in a way that is healthy and not toxic. So we're all on lockdown at the moment, nobody's attending anything, and this is a really good time for your league to kind of pause and have a little think about how you should approach attendance, what you want to get out of it, and how you ensure that it's healthy for your league. Now, to understand the difference between healthy and toxic attendance, you need to first understand what the goal is of the attendance. And it's for a coach or the leadership in your team, it's very simple. The goal of attendance is to gather the kind of information that will allow you to make good strategic decisions about the direction of your team, right? That's what, at the crux of it, attendance is for. Now, when it becomes toxic is when attendance begins to become a stick to beat people with. And I have seen it happen, and I'm sure it's very commonplace in roller derby. But as soon as that begins to happen, you're going to have the opposite effect that you want from taking attendance. You're going to have a tool that has the potential to be really transformative and powerful for your league, but actually, you're going to have these negative effects where people don't want to attend, they don't want to get beaten by the stick. So it's just really important that when you are taking registers, when you're gathering this information, we're not judging people based on their capacity or their motivation to attend. What we're really doing is just gathering that information so that we can use it to make decisions. Okay, so with that said, let's have a look at exactly how we're going to take this register with the team. And I'm going to click on this stack. This is my Monday game night session. These are the activities that I'm going to teach. Now at the moment there's no button here to take a register because this stack doesn't belong to a team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it with Worcester. I'm going to hit refresh, and now you're going to see this take a register button at the top. And if I open that, click create new, it's going to ask if I want to create it today. I'm going to say, yes, I do. Create register. And now we're going to be presented with this register screen. And you'll see that it has a few little extras compared to what you're used to, especially if you've been using something like a Google Sheet. This is going to be a whole different ball game. Now, I can mark everyone present, nice and easy. But what I can also do is I'm going to record down here on the right exactly what activities took place and who was leading them. Now the power of this is that as a coach, as a league, even as a sport, we're not looking to create just obedient skaters that do what they're told. Okay, we're looking to create smart, free-thinking individuals who can make good decisions on the fly. And the way to ensure that is to make sure that you're coaching leadership as you coach, right? So the way I can do this is, now my coach is going to coach most of this. That's fine. If you've got a dedicated coach, brilliant. But also as a coach, I want to make sure that I'm picking up the potential for leadership in the team. So what I'm going to do in this instance is I'm going to say, I've got this other guy, Stephen Vandal. I'd really like him to work on his leadership and also kind of build that knowledge of off-skates and fitness. I think there's a lot of potential there. So this functional off-skates activity, I'm actually going to get that person to lead it. And I'm going to begin to push some of this leadership out. Now, I want you to understand that the session leader is still the session leader. And they're still the coach. They're still, in charge of running this kind of unit of training. But what we're really doing at this point is deliberately creating space for leadership to grow. And as a coach, it's my job to grow that leadership, right? It's my job to say, I want this person to do an awful lot of skating, but within that skating, I also want to see them doing leadership because they need that skill. They need that skill when it's game day, they're on track, and they need to make decisions on the fly. I need to have skaters that have leadership skills, right? This is the nature of roller derby. And I would also argue it's the culture of roller derby, right? We're not a sport that creates blind obedience. We're a sport that creates, smart, free-thinking individuals that can make decisions when they need to. Okay, so I've recorded that in this session. I'm going to hit save. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to go to my teams. I'm going to find Worcester. And you'll see I have this list of menu options. And on the right, I have this option for stats. Now, if I click on stats, I'm going to be presented with this page. And it's going to show me all kinds of information about what's going on in the team. Now, to start with, it's going to ask me when do I want to see these stats for, and it's going to default to the last 6 weeks. Now you can quickly change that to the last 3 months if you want, just by clicking that button, or if you need a really granular approach, you can use the date pickers to choose exactly what range you want that information from. Now at first glance, this information is going to be fairly familiar, so if you already keep a spreadsheet, it's going to be similar to what you already have. So I've got this overall team attendance, which is going to show me an average attendance over the course of the last 6 weeks. I also have this breakdown by member, so I can see that over the last 6 weeks, the attendance for both of these guys is 91%. That's great. And this is what you would. This is like if you're using a Google Sheet or you have like an attendance set up, this is probably the level of information that you may or may not have at this point. But because this is our coaching platform that has our activities on it, we can actually take this a step further. And if I scroll down, I get some more graphs. And now I can start to see who is leading the sessions and who is leading the activities. Now I'm going to expect that the main coach is going to be doing the lion's share of these. That's great. But I'm also going to get this breakdown of exactly how much leadership are we pushing out into the team. Now, there's no exactly right answer for this, but this is going to tell you, are you doing it and how much are you doing it? And that's going to be a strategic decision for you to make as a league that you can now make with this information. Now, you need people to have these skills because let's say you have this wonderful coach, he's doing everything, that's great. If this person gets hit by a bus, they move on, they retire, and so on and so on, you're really going to fall back to how much leadership that you have grown deliberately in that team. And if these graphs are looking very empty, if they're looking like you've got a lot of eggs in that singular basket, then you're really headed to trouble further down the line. Like leadership is something that you can and should be deliberately growing in the league. And this is going to give you the tools to see exactly how that's happening. Next to this, you're going to see this list of activities. Now, we've talked about who is doing what, but now we're also going to see exactly what are you guys training during this time, right? So let's say you've just played a game, it was a tight game and you lost by 20 points, and you're doing your bout reflection and you want to talk about what you need to do in training to make up for next time. And now you may have several things that you want to improve. You might say, well, looking back over the last 6 months, we haven't done enough fitness, and that's what got us down. And you can just scan quickly over these activities, see which ones you were teaching the most of. You can see your blocking was looking really good. You did loads of dig train. Obviously, you're warming up, etc. You've got these jamming skills in. But you can start to see where your emphasis is lying in your coaching, and you can start to get a bird's eye view of that. Now, this is all just very simple at the moment. This is just my junk data, but I want you to imagine casting your eye back over the last 6 weeks of training in the run-up to a game, saying, this is where we lost the game, this is the training that we did, what could we and what should we change for our next game? So let's say you lost it on fitness. If it turns out that there are no fitness drills over the last 6 weeks, it's a simple fix, right? Do more fitness. If you were doing fitness and you still weren't quite fit enough, then it gives you that information to say, well, we need to tweak how we're doing our fitness because it's not giving us the results that we want, okay? And this is the level of kind of granular control that this register is going to give you. It's going to give you not just information about who was at training, it's going to tell you what were they doing, when were they doing it, and how were you growing leadership. And that for me, I think, has the potential to be a really transformative tool in how you think about attendance, but also how you think about leadership and how you plan your training as a roller derby team. Okay, if that was useful to you, I really hope it was, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.